Hi, it's Amy from the Ross Farm, and this is Sheep and Wool School, episode 13. I can't believe it, but we've made it to 13. And it seems like 13 should be our lucky number because this is May, which was Scooterpie's birth month, and his favorite number was lucky number 13. So we're kicking off May, recapping Maryland Sheep and Wool, and talking about a lot of other things, and remembering Scooterpie on his birth month. So, first of all, make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube channel here and also on our other social media channels, the Ross Farm at Instagram and Ross Farm Fibers on Facebook. And let's get right into it, shall we? It's been a big couple of weeks, and I'm really excited to show you some of the things that we've got going on and tell you about some of the things that we've done in the last couple of weeks while we weren't here. I apologize for our little bit of a break, but I was at Maryland Sheep and Wool, and things got a little crazy, and we'll talk about that later, but we started to record a couple of days ago, and we found that we had no internet, and I've been dealing with this little puppy since right before Maryland. So things have been a little bit nuts. But I found the one thing I can do with my wrist in a brace is spin. So I was able to finish up those Classy Squid Rolags that I started a few months back, and they turned out absolutely gorgeous. This is Falkland Merino, Firestar, Nylon, Peduncle Silk, Sari Silk, Mohair, and Angelina. And it is absolutely gorgeous. I think this is probably going to be a hat. I'm not sure if I have enough for a hat, and so it may end up being just an ear warmer headband kind of thing, but it is absolutely squishy and delicious. And I didn't even get a photo of this yet because I just finished this today, but this is actually all of the samples that were in our goodie bag at Ply Away in 2018 and 2019. So I pulled out all of my samples because I have this tote bag that I just keep moving around the studio, and I finally thought, you know what would be easier to move? A skein of yarn. So I pulled all of the samples out and I saved all of the cards and I marked which ones I really liked, and then I spun it all up. So now it needs a little bit of a wash and block and it'll be ready to go. It's all different kinds of fibers because that is probably 30 or 40 different samples. So it was really fun. Right now it's super energized and really squiggly. But once I get it washed and blocked, it'll be delightful. So that's what is on the wheel this week, and I spun both of those on my Hansen mini spinner. It just happened to be what was in the same room I was in when I decided that I was going to try spinning with a wrist brace. So I spun on that rather than get anything else out. On the needles, this is actually a knitting-related injury because I was trying to finish the new Hitofude in time for Maryland Sheep and Wool, and instead I finished my wrist. I've got tendonitis in my wrist, and I got the upper body and the sleeves finished. I did the 3-needle bind off. This is actually inside out, and now I am on the portion where I go around and around to make the waist, and then I start to do the peplum portion as soon as I am cleared to start knitting again, because I am so good at hurting myself that I actually managed to get tendonitis of the flexor and extender something tendons. So basically I got tendonitis going this way and this way. So I can't really do anything with it, which is super fun. And that brings us to our favorite portion of the day, which is Sheep and Wool School. And this month's This month's breed was selected by my son and I a couple of months ago. When we started the program, we decided that May definitely had to be Shetland because May is Scooterpie's birth month and the Shetlands were his children. Um, it was very unusual to find him in the barn without a Shetland in his beard or tucked in his jacket or at least following him around. The Shetlands didn't really like anybody except Scooter. They were completely devoted to him, and he was to them as well. And Shetlands, everybody says that the Valley Blacknose is the cutest sheep in the world, and I beg to differ. I think the Shetlands are the cutest sheep in the world. And to convince you of that fact, I will show you a Shetland lamb. They are born about 4 pounds and they are cute as all get out. They are born with teeny tiny fluke tails, which they have for the rest of their lives. There's no need to dock tails on any Shetlands because they're born with little fluke tails. And they have teeny tiny little ears and they have a little dished face and the cutest little boop snoot. And they come in 30 colors and patterns. So this one happens to be mostly white, but it has this lovely kind of somewhere between fawn and morit on it. And all of the names of the colors and patterns are like Gallic. So they have crazy, 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 crazy names. Scooter's favorite sheep was Shayla, which is actually the name of one of the colors that they come in. It's kind of a very pale stainless steel gray. And they're just, that's some of our Shetlands mixed in with the rest of the flock, but they are just so much fun. We really enjoy them. This is one of our little badger face ewes, and she had a pair of badger face lambs. And if you zoom in on the one in the back, he's kind of evil looking, honestly, with the dark circles around his eyes, which is called, I'm forgetting the term for that, but they have dark legs, which is socket. And if they would have speckles, they would be flecket. And if they had a spot around their mouth, that's smear slit. And their mother is actually light on top and dark on the bottom, which is gull mugget. And then dark on top and light on the bottom is cat mugget, or vice versa. This is our new ram though. He is amazing. Absolutely love him. His name is Shining Armor. So we call him Army because, Drew has a lot of rams with military names like Sarge and Captain. And so Army seemed like the name for him. And he is a Morit, and we absolutely love him. He made some really, really beautiful, beautiful lambs this year. So very excited about him. This is our other ram. That is Jack. He is also cat mugget or gull mugget. I'm misremembering the term, but he's light on top, and then he has a dark belly and dark legs and a dark face. His horns are pretty awesome. But Jack was Scooter's very special boy. He raised Jack and his sister Jill, and we knew when Jack was born that he would be the next flock sire of our Shetland flock. He's just beautiful. And this is one of his offspring. This is Ardbeg. Scooter named all of his Shetland rams after Scotch whiskey. And the reason that Jack is named Jack is because we were out of town when he was born, and Drew didn't remember the Scotch part and named him Jack Daniels. So Jack is the only non-Scotch whiskey name for all of our rams. But we just love the two-horned rams. Our flock is a horned flock. So that is one of our very light colored ewes. And you see she had one dark ram or one dark lamb and one light lamb. And they're just so cute. Those lambs are probably about a week old in that photo, even though they're still so small. So they stay really cute, really small. The Shetlands, the ewes will get to be about 60 to 80 pounds, and the rams will get to be 80 to 100. This little guy I just absolutely love. He has a light and dark face, and there is a place on the North American Shetland Sheep Association website where you can look up all of the different colors and patterns that Shetlands come in. And the names are just fun to say. These are my favorite kind. They're all black, so they're really easy to fill out the paperwork. Actually, this is a really good example of a black lamb and the white spot on top of its head. That patterning is called Blessed, and I always remember that because it looks to me like it's wearing a tiny yarmulke. But yeah, that's one of our very special girls. So they are very small sheep. They come from the islands off the coast of Scotland, the Shetland Islands, and they are really, really hardy, excellent mothers. We'll talk about their fiber next week. We got a lot to get through this week, so I just wanted to kind of give you a quick introduction to Shetlands. So if you're working with the anything along, this month is Shetland. So you can now be working with Cheviot, Jacob, Hog Island, or Shetland for the anything along. And again, you can knit, crochet, spin, weave, knolbund, felt, whatever turns you on with the fiber. You don't have to get it from us. If you'd like to get it from a local purveyor, that still counts because that still supports these sheep. Shetland is also one of the shave 'em to save 'em breeds. So that is also part of that project. And when you get your Shetland fiber or yarn, make sure you get your passport sticker for your shave 'em to save 'em passport. So I've been doing a little bit of sewing, not much. Most of it happened before I managed to take myself out by knitting all day, every day for a week. So I finished the Raindrops pillow, and I started on my May Polka Dot Pincushion UFO Challenge project, which is an oldie but a goodie. It came from the Fons and Porter for the Love of Quilting from December of 1999. Yeah, it's 26 years old. How about that? And it is actually a Christmas wall hanging called, I believe, Christmas Wishes. And we're going to show you a picture of that. And I just fell in love with this when I first saw it in 1999. I had a 4-year-old, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. So I ordered the kit with the fabrics from Fons and Porter's for the Love of Quilting, and I didn't realize it, but I must have ordered 2 kits because that's what I've got. 2 kits. So the fabrics are all together. I've cut all the fabrics. I've cut all the fabrics out from those 2 kits, and I'm ready to get started as soon as I can figure out how to do that with my injured wrist. So, new and noteworthy, we got another shipment back from the new mill. That's the Raindrops quilt. We got a new shipment back from the mill, and I can't say enough good stuff about the new mill. These yarns, and I'll probably do a little bit of an introduction to them at some point in the future. They didn't make it in today because we have a lot to get through, but we got a restock of our Shetland colors. We have about 3 colors of Shetland. I think we have 2, maybe 3 colors of CVM Rommeldale yarn. We have some beautiful warm brown, light brown CVM Rommeldale fiber, and we have insoles. We have insoles, and these insoles are Shetland and CVM Rommeldale, so they are extremely soft. These are up on the website already. The way that the mill makes these for us is they felt them around a piece of burlap so that they are strong and stable. And Drew is already wearing his, so I expect next week to have a report from the kid, who is, as you know, our R&D department, to let us know how he is enjoying those insoles. Now, they are very soft and squishy, but they are also warm in the winter and cool in the summer. So you can wear these wool insoles in your hiking boots or your tennis shoes or whatever you've got, whatever you're wearing, all summer long. And those are on the website at therossfarm.com. So make sure you pick yourself some of those up. I haven't gotten the rest of the yarns up yet because can't label them with the arm right now. I've been to the doctor and it should be good in a week or 2. So I'll definitely have the new stuff for Great Lakes next week. Fingers crossed. I have a friend that's coming over to help me, and that should get all that done. So now it's time for Out and About, which is going to be our biggest segment this week because we have not been to Winchester and Williamsburg. We have been to Maryland Sheep and Wool, and it was a lot. We had some real craziness. I got to see my sweet friend Janice of Queen City Yarn. She stopped by. I hadn't seen her in quite some time, and I just hugged her and cried and cried. I was so glad to see her. Before the accident, she and I used to be very, very, very close. We went on the trip to the UK with her husband B and my Scooterpie, and I just absolutely love her. She is one of the people who arrived immediately after the accident to take care of me and all of the arrangements when I couldn't really keep it together. So seeing her was the highlight of my trip. Well, one of them. The other highlight was having Deb Robeson stop by the booth, and she and I had a wonderful chat, and I've got something in the works that I'll tell you about later that I wanted to get Deb's blessing for. And I wanted to chat with her too because she was doing a class at Maryland Sheep and Wool on the Cheviots, and you know the Cheviots are one of my very, very favorite breeds and the one that I've had the longest. So I was really excited for her to be bringing Cheviots to the national stage. So that was pretty wonderful. And then Drew came on Sunday to help us, but Saturday did not turn out great. Saturday, we ended up having a really, really, really bad storm, and I actually posted some of the videos of the booth during the storm on the YouTube channel as well, so you can go and look at those separately. But it started to rain really, really, really hard, like torrential downpours, heavy winds, and then hail. And then the noise that the wind was making, we actually thought there was a tornado coming through. And just when it stopped making that noise and we thought, okay, no tornado, then it started to flood. So the water came in under the wall of our barn, which was barn 4, 2 or 3 booths down. And it just swept through our booth. And at one point, it was probably 4 or 5 inches deep, and I was standing on the last remaining dry spot in the booth, and it it was just devastating. So we were done at 4 o'clock on Saturday when it started to rain, and that was it was pretty difficult. But I'm just very, very grateful that we didn't have the damage that some of the outdoor vendors did, and some of the vendors in booth number 6, or barn number 6, because they also had some really bad damage. And one of the potters, I believe it was called the Lion Potter, she lost almost all of her pottery when the tent and the wind started and knocked everything over. So if you were so inclined, if you could reach out to the Lion Potter and support her with a purchase, that would be amazing, because it was a bad storm. And I know Sheep Incognito, my friend Connie Togel, they had a lot of damage as well. It was just a really bad day. So, like, none of us slept Saturday night worrying because it was supposed to storm some more overnight, and we weren't sure what we were going to be walking into on Sunday. Several of the vendors did pack up and go home on Saturday because they were already damaged and they were really afraid of what was going to happen overnight. We, being in the barn, knowing that we had a solid roof over our heads, we chose to stick it out. And Sunday was a beautiful day. So Sunday, Drew showed up, and he came down and brought Riley with him. And we gave 2 North Country Cheviots away through the Youth Conservationist Program. And that is Grace. Grace got a little yearling North Country Cheviot named Irene. And Irene went home with her, and now she will be starting her own flock of North Country Cheviots with the ewe that we donated. So we also gave a second one to Cheney, who is the girl in black next to Grace in that photograph. And it turned out all of the children write essays to try to win a sheep to start their own flock. And we had 2 that we couldn't decide between, and we didn't want to pick one over the other and one not get anything. So we ended up choosing both of them and just bringing 2 sheep to donate instead of just 1. So that is Irene on the right in the screen, and I'm not sure what Cheney has named her ewe on the left, but we gave those to them through the Youth Conservationist Project. And I think there's a couple more photos of that's Cheney with her little ewe, and Grace behind her. And then our favorite person, Melinda of Bossmere, came down and did some shearing demos. And that's Melinda speaking with Emily Chamberlain, her mentor and the greatest shearer in the whole world. Well, next to Melinda, of course. But Emily Chamberlain shears for literally everyone and does all of the big flocks. And then Melinda kind of goes along and does clean up with all of the smaller flocks. So they were doing shearing demos in the breed display on Sunday. And Melinda actually, through her shearing the last few years, has fallen in love with the California Red sheep. And she got to go home with a California Red ram by the name of Cypress. And then on Mother's Day, she picked up 6 California Red ewes, and she now has her own sheep flock, which I think is amazing. I'm so excited that we've been able to not only drag her into sheep shearing, but drag her into raising sheep too, because she has a degree in ruminant nutrition, and it just made sense that she would actually get some ruminants. I don't know. So we also got to celebrate my dear friend Shannon's birthday that weekend. Her birthday was Monday after Sheep and Wool. She came in from Mississippi to help out in the booth. Shannon and I have known each other for many, many years. We met at SSK in Nashville, the Super Summer Knit Together that the Knit Girls put on. And then she started coming and helping us to run our retreat in Florida. and we stay at their house on the way through to DFW. And I'm sure that having her there for the weekend and being able to celebrate with her was a real blessing. And I just absolutely love her and her husband, Donovan, and their adorable little red miniature poodle, Samson. He didn't get to come to Maryland, but he did get to come to Nash Yarn Fest, which was the last time we got to see Shannon. So that was kind of amazing. We really, really enjoyed that. And then we celebrated Drew's 30th birthday. He turned 30 right before Maryland Sheep and Wool. So the week before, we were able to take him to the Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad here for Steam in the Valley. And we got to sit in the dome cars, which are part of the California Zephyr cars that the CVSR brought out from California many, many years ago. And so it was an amazing evening. It also rained and leaked that night too. So it seems like May has been the theme of getting wet. But it was a beautiful evening. I got to spend it with my favorite person, and we actually did have a ticket for John. He didn't have to stay home. He had to sit in a different car because there weren't any seats together, but he got to entertain the car that he was in, telling railroad stories with a gentleman named Warren, who he met immediately and had a wonderful evening with. So John over there making a love connection in the other California Zephyr car with his new good old buddy Warren, who knew everything about railroads and trains and the Cuyahoga Valley. So he got a lot of good stories, which he shared with us later, and it was just an epic evening. It was really, really good. But it doesn't stop there. Right before Drew's birthday, we had another birthday. Our little miniature donkey, Scarlet Sunset, gave us this adorable little female miniature donkey. A female donkey is called a Jennet or a Jenny, Jennet. So Scarlet had a tiny baby Jennet, and her name is Shasta. Her grandfather was my heart donkey, the love of my life, my sweet little Coke, and her father is Little Coke. So it was just such a sweet arrival to have our miniature donkey give birth right before Drew's birthday. We've now had 2 unexpected munchkins this spring. Ruth gave us a little heifer calf, and Scarlett gave us tiny Shasta. So just for scale, Shasta's mother is 30 inches tall. So Shasta is probably about 18 inches tall at the back right now. And they're about 30 pounds when they're born. So very small, very, very small. I have huskies bigger than this tiny donkey. It's actually like a corgi on tiny long legs. But so that was a wonderful surprise. I love my miniature donkeys. I miss them terribly. And for Scarlett to have another foal was just kind of wonderful. So next up is in season, which it's all about gardening for me and dropping the top on the Jeeps and just cruising through the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, smelling all the smells because everything is blooming right now and it smells amazing. I love it so much. But for the gardening, my son, I actually got to spend Mother's Day with him. So I went down and worked the Squirrel Hill Farmers Market in Pittsburgh, and he surprised me with the hanging baskets for the front of our house from his greenhouse buddy at the farmers market. So I got to pick out these 4 hanging baskets, and I believe they're called Million Bells. I'll have to look that up. But I picked those. I always do vining geraniums. My mother always did vining geraniums, so I always did vining geraniums. Until this year, my friend down the street is a beekeeper, Diane, and so I started thinking more about pollinators, and I thought that my hanging baskets could also be pollinator friendly. And if you look, these have a very trumpet shaped blossom on them. And the funny thing was, when they were in the back of my truck while I was driving home from Pittsburgh, um, they smelled like honey, which I thought was very interesting. Drew had remarked the same thing when he had them in his truck with him, but they're just beautiful. And there's 2 different cultivars. There's a red one, and then there's kind of a beigey orange. And I thought those would look really good on the front of our beige house. So I picked those 4. And then when I got home, the dogs surprised me with a house plant um, with a houseplant arrangement that said Happy Mother's Day, because I'm also a dog mom. So John says it's from the 2 huskies, but I'm pretty sure it was the corgis that reminded them that it was Mother's Day, because, the corgis are all about me, and Violet is very organized. So I assume that she gave them the number and told them what to order. But it's beautiful. There's a Kalancho and an African violet that right there in the front that I absolutely love. And then in the back there was a palm and a couple of other things. And when I break it all out and plant them individually, I will have a lot of beautiful flowers and plants for the sunroom in the house next fall when I have to give up my gardens outdoors. So that was kind of amazing. Good job, dogs. Yeah, I'm sure it was you. John's very sweet, but he likes to give the dogs credit for it. So on down the road, I'm getting ready to head out, and it's going to be crazy pants. Next week is Great Lakes Fiber Festival. I have a great deal of hope that we'll get to record again before then. Great Lakes Fiber Show is in Worcester, Ohio. I have a double booth, and I am teaching fractal spinning at the Great Lakes Fiber Show. So if you are going and you would like to learn fractal spinning, please hop on and sign up. I believe the 23rd is the last day to register. Don't quote me on that. Go to the website now. Great Lakes Fiber Show is always really fun. It's very low key. It's very flat. It's usually very accessible, and the fleece show is pretty epic. And talking about fleece shows, I have big news. I am going to be teaching 3 classes and also judging the fiber show at the Maine Fiber Frolic, which is 2 weeks away. And I think the signups for classes are supposed to end on the 23rd for that as well. It had some turnover in the workshop coordinator position this year, so we're a little late getting the announcement out. But I will be at Maine Fiber Frolic, hopefully teaching 3 classes if you guys sign up. If not, I will be definitely judging the fiber show. So that is really exciting. I will be doing the same kind of judging that I do when I go to Lambtown. We will be talking about all of the fleeces. We will be talking about what they would be good for and what positive attributes I see. I'm kind of a big believer that no fleece left behind. They all have a purpose, even if it's mulch. Every fleece has a purpose and every fleece has value. So we'll be talking all about that in Maine. It's at the Windsor Fairgrounds the last weekend in May, which is May 31st and June 1st. So I will be there definitely on Saturday. And I'm kind of making it a little bit of a working vacation. Scooterpie and I honeymooned in Maine when we were married 19 years ago in August, and we went back in September of 2019, just a few weeks before the accident. And it was always one of our very favorite places. And I have made up my mind that I need to go to Maine to kind of rip that Band-Aid off so that I can go back to Maine whenever I want without worrying about how I'm going to be triggered and what I'm going to be thinking about. So I am going up. I am going to go work the Fiber Fair, Fiber Frolic, and then I am going to drive to Acadia, and I'm going to Bar Harbor, and I'm going to take a ride on the carriage roads through Acadia National Park. And with any luck whatsoever, I am going to have tea at the Jordan Pond House in Acadia, and I'm going to be by myself with my memories because that's what I feel like I need right now. So I'm excited to go. It's going to be amazing. It's always beautiful. As long as we don't have some sort of a hurricane, I think we'll be good. But after that, I am headed off to MAFA, the Mid-Atlantic Fiber Association, their conference in Millersville, Pennsylvania, at the college there. And I will be vending at MAFA. I'm not teaching this year. And then I am off from there to the Contemporary Handweavers Guild in Houston in mid-July to teach a weekend-long rare breeds workshop. It's going to be a super duper intensive. We're going to have all sorts of stuff. And I actually have 2 bags here in front of me of some of the materials that I am bringing in for these classes that are coming up. And that one is a rare breeds intensive. So these are Teeswater locks from my friend in West Virginia. She and I have known each other since 2008. And so I wanted to get some dyed locks to take for class. So these are dyed Teeswater locks, and they're going to be super fun to play with when we talk about Teeswaters. And that makes me very, very happy. And we also will be at Michigan in August, and also Flock Fiber Festival in August. And then September will be, and at Flock, I'm teaching 6 classes, so you can catch me in Seattle. And then after that, I'm vending at DFW. And then I'm really excited to announce that I've signed the contract and I will be teaching and judging the fleece show again this year at Lambtown in Dixon, California, also in October. And then coming back to the East Coast to do Rhinebeck, and then heading straight from Rhinebeck to Asheville, North Carolina to teach 7 classes at SAF, which is going to be a little nuts. And then after that, I think is Fiberfest of New England, as well as the Maryland Alpaca Fest. So it's going to be an action-packed year starting next week. I think I have a couple of weeks off, maybe late June, early July. But after that, it's like a week off here and there, and I'm on the road the rest of the time. So we're going to do our best to keep recording when I'm back in town, but there may be some gaps. Doing the best I can. I did want to mention one last thing before I sign off, and that is this book that one of the young ladies that got one of the North Country Cheviettes from us, Grace, gave me this book as a thank you, and it is about the couple who originally imported the North Country Cheviot to the United States. And the book is called Whatever It Takes, and it's written by May Davidson. And May and her husband, Jim, went through many ups and downs, and over 7 decades, raised North Country Cheviettes. So I am really excited to read this on my trip to Maine, which is where they actually lived. And I'm hoping to get to maybe drive by where their farm was located. I'm not 100% sure if it's still in operation or not, but I'm so excited about this book, and it's like the perfect gift for me. So thank you again, Grace. And I can't wait to read this. And as soon as I'm done reading it, Drew will be reading it as well. And I know I always love to give you guys some book recommendations. Like we talked about The Last Flock by Jane Cooper. And so now my new recommendation is Whatever It Takes by Mae Davidson. So with that being said, we've come to the end of our time together today. And I am so excited to be back here in the studio and talking with all of you and giving you the update on Maryland Sheep and Wool and getting ready to go back out on the road again and see all of you at my classes and in the booth and just wandering around. So remember, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you like best about this episode and what your favorite thing about Shetlands is. There's our social media handles. And our website is therossfarm.com if you want to pick up any Shetland or anything else, any of the new things. These are Shetland too. So until next week or the next time we're able to record, next time we're able to be together, we'll see you soon. Bye.